So I'm Christine Luken. I call myself the financial dignity coach. I am a money coach. I have been in business. This will be my 10th full year in business. And there's a lot of ups and downs when it comes to your finances and starting a business. So I think we're going to share my website and my email. So if you guys have more personal questions that you don't want to ask, please feel free to reach out to me directly, because I know this can be a very sensitive topic. There's some things that you definitely need to be thinking about. And, the first thing that I tell anyone who wants to be an entrepreneur, the best financial move that you can make to ensure that your business succeeds financially is to have your personal finances in order before you start your business. If you think that your business is going to rescue you financially, I think all the experts on this panel can tell you, not right away. Everything costs more and takes longer than you think it is, and we only hear like the 1%ers that have like this explosive growth right out of the gate. For most of us, that's not how it happens. It's much more slow. It's much more organic. And it's a lot more variable. Like, we think like, oh, this is how we grow financially. Well, it's not. If you're an entrepreneur, it goes like this. And if you can't handle those financial ups and downs, then you probably don't want to get on that roller coaster. But there are some things that you can do to, make sure that this is going to be a much more successful ride. The first thing that I tell people is, you need to understand what it takes to operate your household. What is the absolute bare minimum amount that you need to bring to the table to make sure that your personal finances are okay? If you are married, you have to have this conversation with your spouse, because I have seen situations where one person starts a business, the other person has the steady job with the health insurance, which is amazing, but they have to be on board knowing that there's some months where you might not bring any money to the table. And there will be other months where you'll have an abundance of money that you bring to the table. And that person has to also be able to stomach that. And if they can't, that means that you need to build up a bigger pool of financial reserves before you start your business. And that's not necessarily a bad thing. So, some great things that you can do right out of the gate to, improve your finances: paying down any consumer debt. So this is anything that's not attached to an asset. So the credit card debt, anything like that, get those payments as small as possible. That was one of the things that my husband and I did. I launched my business a year later than I intended. And that's because my husband and I took that year to really buckle down. And we took the vast majority of my income and we paid a huge chunk down on our mortgage, and we refinanced it to get it as small as possible. And, we just got our bills to a really minimal amount so that we could pay everything on my husband's salary if we needed to. And that was a huge blessing. That was a really big deal. I want you to think about it like a runway. So if you think about your business is like an airplane, the stronger your financial situation is, the longer your runway is. If you have a very short runway, the chances of you crashing go up tremendously, right? The longer your runway, the more successful your takeoff is going to be. Even if you have some hiccups and some issues, the longer that financial runway is, the better. Now, there is still going to come a time where you have to decide to pull that trigger. And, like we said, you're never going to be 100% certain. In entrepreneurship, you just never are. But, knowing how much your income or how much business income you absolutely need to make sure that you're secure on your personal finances, that's huge. Minimizing your debt, maximizing your savings. I would love to see you have 6 months of your personal expenses in a savings account before you quit your day job. But the other thing is, you are going to have to, there's going to be that line that you have to cross where you say, okay, now it's time. And to be, and to commit to that, right? Because it's like, we want to have this financial runway, but at the same time, some of us also need to have that pressure of, okay, like, I got to do this. I got to get out there. I got to hustle. I got to make these sales calls, even though it feels uncomfortable, so that I can actually get this business off the ground. So, you've kind of got this weird thing when you first start your business and you're still working your day job, where you have to know when your day job has transitioned from a launch pad to a crutch that keeps you from going full time. If you haven't already read the book Quitter by John Acuff, I highly, highly recommend that book. He does a wonderful job of explaining how you can use your day job as a successful launch pad into taking that side hustle into a full-time business. And he does talk about it financially, but he also talks about how those connections and other things can actually help you make that transition successfully. But, just having those conversations and knowing your numbers, because here's the thing, if your personal finances are on shaky ground, it can cause you to make really bad decisions in your business. So I have seen people who, out of desperation, because they have to make rent, have done things like take on a client that they know in the pit of their stomach is going to be a high maintenance client, and they're probably going to regret it, but they need the money. Yeah. Or they take on debt, or they take on a partner and then regret that later because they needed that fast cash. Having that longer financial runway is going to help you make wise and calm decisions in your business. Making financial decisions when your emotions are high is usually going to lead to bad results.